my name is Jim Cheshire, and this is our screencast series on using Windows Azure Web Sites. In this screencast, I'm going to show you how you can use MySQL Workbench to connect to a MySQL database that you're using with a Windows Azure website. So one of the great things about Windows Azure Web Sites is it allows you to quickly get a website up and running that connects to either a SQL Server database or a MySQL database. In this example, I've got a WordPress website that is running a MySQL database provided by ClearDB. This is a free MySQL database that you have available to you as an Azure subscriber, but using that free plan, your database size is limited to 20 megabytes. So you can use the techniques I'm going to show in this screencast to find out how big your MySQL database is so that you'll know in advance if you're approaching that limit. The first thing I've done here is I've installed MySQL Workbench, and you can find a link to that in the blog post that accompanies this screencast. Once you've installed that, you need to create a connection to your MySQL database, and you'll use the connection string for your database to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the dashboard for this website, and then I can simply click on the View Connection Strings link, and I can get the connection string information that I need to set up a connection in MySQL Workbench. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to scoot this over a little bit so that I can pull up MySQL Workbench and create a connection. This is MySQL Workbench, a free application available on the internet. And I'll scoot it over here so I can see my connection string. And I'm just simply going to click on New Connection. And here I'm going to enter in the information that I get from the connection string dialog in the Windows Azure Web Sites portal. I can name my connection anything that I want it to be. So for example, my WordPress site. The host name is obtained from here, the data source. The user ID or the username is available here. And to enter your password, you just click on Store in Vault. You don't have to do this. You can leave the password empty and it'll prompt you for it, but I prefer to store mine. So I'm going to go ahead and enter the password, which can be found here. And I'll click OK. And then I'll test the connection and just make sure that I've entered everything correctly. Alright, so my connection parameters are correct, and now I'm ready to connect to the MySQL database. So I'll simply click OK here. Let me maximize this window. And by double clicking here, I can open up that database in MySQL Workbench. Here are the database tables for the WordPress website that I'm running. And you can enter in SQL scripts right here in this window. So if I want to find out the size of this database right now, I can just simply enter in a SQL query that will do this. You can find that SQL query on the blog post that accompanies this screencast. I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. This is exactly the same query that is available on the blog post, and then click the lightning bolt here to execute the query. So I can see in the result window that my database size right now is just shy of 1 megabyte. So I hope you'll find these steps convenient for you when you need to connect to your MySQL database, and I look forward to talking to you in our next screencast.